I fully was about to be like, where's my phone? But then I realized that I'm recording with it right now. So, I also feel like I'm like hacking into the mainframe right now. I wish you guys could like see this. I have my computer, I have my iPad, and then I have my phone. And I'm like, I feel like I'm hacking into the mainframe right now. Hacker vibes. So that's how we're starting off today's episode. Hello, everyone. Um, Welcome back to Growing Up is Weird. I hope you all are doing well. I feel like I look pale and gross and dull right now if you're watching the video version. So don't mind that. It's literally snowing in Savannah right now, or it did snow like 2 days ago, and it's freezing. It hasn't snowed here since 2018, I think, and before that it was like the 70s. So global warming for real. But yeah, so it's freezing here, and I have like none of my winter clothes because I was not expecting to have to dress for winter weather. Let's just say that. You go to the south and you don't really expect to have to dress for a winter storm. I have been like literally trapped in my house, essentially, only going here and then one other place for the past like 2 days. And the roads are like icy because they don't have like snow plows here, and they don't have salt because they don't need it because it only snows like once every like 7 years. So they just have to kind of wait until the snow melts. Except the problem is that it like was like freezing rain, and then it snowed on top, and then it froze again. So it's like powder in between two layers of ice. So it's just like we're kind of cooked until it decides to get warm again, but it's been pretty cold the past 2 days. So we've been online for classes yesterday, today, and then honestly probably tomorrow because I don't think it's going to melt today because it's cloudy and cold. So that's where I'm at. It's been kind of all over the place the past week, and I feel like I'm like thrown off my like routine because I like it's the second week or third. Hello, see what I mean? Like I don't know what week it is. It's the third week. It's the third week of classes, I believe. Yeah. So I had like just gotten my routine down because it's like the third week of classes, and then all of a sudden it's all messed up again. And also because no one's been in classes and no one's been able to go anywhere, my apartment has been so loud. So loud. But nothing's open either. So I'm literally stupid because I was at the grocery store like right before the snow happened, and I was like, "Oh, like people are literally so dramatic. Like people like it's not even going to snow. Like it's not even going to stick. Like it's going to hit the ground and melt." And here I am like literally slipping in my car driving down the road. So I feel like that might just be karma for me, like being all like high and mighty, because I'm from the north. Like I'm used to getting 10 inches of snow and having to like hike in the snow to get to classes. Because we have the snow plows, obviously, and we have the salt. So it doesn't matter. However, they don't have that here. And the roads are asphalt and not pavement. So that's another thing that I also did not think about. However, even though all of the craziness with the being locked in my house and snow and pale and cold, a lot of exciting updates. I had an interview with a blogger, I guess that's what you would call her? Question mark. She has a blog, and it goes along with the photo shoot that I did in New York in the beginning of the month for the magazine that I'm going to be in for Growing Up is Weird. So that is something that I'm so excited for that to come out. It's like when we were on the interview, she was like asking me all these questions, and she asked me like what my favorite project was that I've like worked on like recently, and I'm like, honestly, probably this one. Like this is the coolest project I've ever worked on, especially because it feels so much more rewarding because my podcast is something that I started just like on a not really on a whim, but like I it kind of took me a lot to start it in a sense of like not being afraid of what other people think and just being like, oh, like are people even gonna like it? Like are people gonna listen to it? Are people gonna like is this gonna stick? Like am I gonna do this for a month and then just like never do it again? And then here we are, like literally almost a year later, and I could not be more happy. So that's something that, even though there's been a lot of craziness and chaos, like that is something that I did 2 days ago, which I'm very excited for. And that kind of also leads us into today's episode topic, which is giving your energy to the things that you can control and not the things that you can't control. And this is something that I actually have been working on recently because I, not that I'm a control freak in any way. I want to put that out there. Like, I'm not a control freak. But I definitely think that I've said this before. I definitely think I'm a lot more mature than a lot of people my age. And that's not me saying that. That's like people telling me that and me saying that. I think something that comes with that is getting very frustrated about how people act. But then I just have to realize, like, I can't really control how they act. I can only control how I act and how I respond to it. And this is something that I've almost been like tested with this a couple times in the past few weeks. And it's almost been like I had this situation happen. This is like initially off the top of my head. I had this situation happen where with a girl, and it was something that I couldn't control, and it put me in a very uncomfortable situation. And, you know, I could get really upset and be like, why did she do that? Like, that's so, like, that pisses me off. Like, that makes me upset. I'm hurt now. Like, sad, boo-hoo. Like, why would she do that? Be all pissed. Or I could change my mindset of it and be like, okay, like, how can I react to this? And how can I, you know, communicate how I'm feeling about the situation effectively? And in this certain situation, that's the part that mattered, and that is the part that I could control, and that was the part that was necessary for me giving my energy to it, was how I responded to it, and not getting mad and being like, why would she do that, blah, 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 blah. Like, there's just no point in that, almost, because it's not going to change anything. And, like, obviously feel your emotions, obviously, you know, get upset, feel what you need to feel, but, oh, why did I say it like that? Feel what you need to feel, accent there, but, like, let yourself feel that for, like, a moment, and then just be like, okay, like, what can I control in this? Because I'm putting my energy, you need to make sure that you're putting your energy into the right things. And this is something that goes for all aspects of life, I feel like, because you can't be putting your energy into every little thing that happens or every little thing in general, because your energy and time is so precious. And I know a lot of people say that, but it truly is. And I feel like a lot of people don't see this, and me included, to be so honest with you. Like, I tend to give my energy to everything in every situation, and I get very exhausted because of it, and it's something that I've had to work on a lot. And I think that if you are, like, very intentional of what situations and what you are putting your energy into, you will be so much happier, and you will, you know, have a lot more energy in general. Because if you're giving all your power and all your time and all your brain space to something that you can't even really control, you're just wasting your time. And I have done that so much, like, especially in relationships and friendships and stuff, where it was a situation in which they had thought something and they were going to act the way they wanted to act, and I had been putting so much time and energy and effort into, like, trying to make them not think this way or feel this way, when in reality, I'm not going to change how they think or feel about me, about the situation, about what they want to believe, when what I can control is what I choose to do moving forward based on that situation. So I feel like putting your energy and your time and your brain power and your rent in your head, essentially, into the correct things, you'll just be better off in the long run. And one specific situation that I can like really, really speak on about this is in high school. Yeah, wait, thinking. Yes, high school. I'm like, again, my brain is all over the place, you guys. It is one of those weeks. However, yeah, a certain situation that I can think of is in high school where I I had a whole friend group who meant the world to me. And I may or may not have talked about this before. But this situation, this particular situation in my life, like was key character development for me and was like a pivotal turning point in my life. And like, yeah, it was shitty in the moment, but I am so much better for it. And it like literally was like the full 360 of my life. So this situation, I had lost all of my friends, essentially, because of something that they believed that I had done. And it was something that I would never do and was very much against my character and against everything I believed in. And they knew that, I knew that, but they still decided to spread a rumor and they still decided to go around and tell people all this stuff about me and leave me out and bully me and do all these terrible things. I don't know why. I still don't know why. But I could sit and wallow in that and be like, oh, like, why did they, like, do that to me? Like, why do they think that? Like, do they still think that? Or I could just kind of let it go and be like, okay, well, this is what I'm doing now, and this is how I can control what is actually happening in my life. And in that situation, in the moment, I think I spent so much time and energy trying to convince everyone that what they were saying wasn't true. And like, I spent so much of my time in that like situation, just like talking to everyone, texting everyone, calling everyone, like trying to make everyone know that like I was right and like not right, but like I didn't do anything wrong, because I hadn't. But in reality, you can't really change anyone's mind. You can't really, like, people are going to believe what they want to believe and people are going to say what they want to say, and you can't do anything about it at all. I mean, you can try, but like I was literally like trying to change these people's mind and try to make everyone believe for like multiple months. Like not months, but like multiple weeks, like maybe like 2 months, until I kind of just realized like, you know what? I got to let it go. I can't put my energy and, you know, affect my mental health any longer because of this situation. I need to make a turnaround, see things for how they are, and, you know, move on with my life. Because another thing is like, if those people were really your people, they wouldn't be doing that and they wouldn't be thinking that and they wouldn't be acting that way. And this goes for friendships and relationships in general. And that situation really did teach me to love myself. It really did, because I had to, because I was really alone in that situation, and I had my best friend Heather, who I got out of that situation. But other than that, like I really, really had no one. So I was forced to love myself. I was forced to be put into a mindset of like what I can and can't control. And this was at a time in my life where like I had just thought I was getting better in terms of my mental space, and like I had just gotten over a really, really, really hard breakup, like my first breakup. Like it was like everything was starting to get better and then it just all crashed again. And I think that's another thing that I still kind of struggle with now. And one of the reasons why, like, when everything's going so well for me, I tend to kind of wait for the crash and the burn, because if like I'm like doing kind of shitty for a while and then I'm like, okay, like things are starting to get better, and then I'm like, okay, wait, when are we gonna crash? And I think that's kind of a normal thing to think. But that kind of also goes into things that you can and can't control, because you can't control the future. You can't put all your energy into worrying about the future when it hasn't even happened yet. And you don't know what's going to happen. Like, you really don't. So all you can put your energy into now is, okay, how do I feel now? What am I going through right now? Everything's great? Amazing. Let's keep it that way. That's all I can control right now. I can't control if things are going to crash and burn. If things are going terribly, okay, how can I turn this around? Because I can't change the fact that X, Y, and Z happened, but how can I move on from that? What did I learn from that? And that is something that I think has taken me a while to learn, and is also something that I am still learning, because I definitely do find myself in situations where I'm like, okay, when's the other shoe gonna drop? Let's wait for it, waiting for it. But like, if you spend your whole life thinking like that, you're gonna ruin the good parts, and you're gonna miss all the happiness and all the good parts and all the happy parts of your life, because you're just gonna be constantly waiting for the other shoe to drop. Which, like, how is that a good life? Because I don't want to live like that. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to live like that anymore anyways, because I have lived like that for way too damn long. But yeah, and I think you guys know I am a huge music person. I use music to very much describe how I'm feeling, and there's a song, and it's called Best Days, and my friend Kaylin, my dear friend Kaylin, she made a music video to the song. It's by Alessia Cara, and the reason why I loved what she did with that song, not only because, you know, Kaylin made a beautiful video, and she did an amazing piece of art that I watch every single night before I go to sleep. No, but it's amazing. Not only because of that, but because the song itself is very, like, moving, in the sense of, it's like, wait, let me think of the lyrics. Like, what if the best days are like the days that you left behind? And what if I forget what the words are, but it's something like, what if the best days you've ever had, you've missed because you were doing something else, or you were not living in the moment, or you were too worried thinking about when the other shoe was going to drop, so you missed the best days of your life. And that is something that I think a lot of people can relate to, because I think as humans, we generally are kind of like waiting for the next thing. It's like, okay, like, this is going well. Okay, now what? Like, you don't just kind of sit and are like, okay, like, I'm gonna put all my energy and all my time into this right now because it's going well right now. And, you know, it might not be next week, but it is now. So why would you worry about that? And also, like, this is kind of off topic, but it also goes into manifestation, which is kind of a whole other topic. But like, if you're constantly thinking that like everything in your life is going to go wrong, like, it probably will, because you're constantly thinking about that. Y'all, that was really weird. I kid you not, I'm scared. Kid you not, I was just talking about Kaylin and Best Days. She just called me. I summoned her. That happens to me a lot, actually. Kind of scared. Might be a witch. Could be the next TikTok witch on your For You page. However, that was really weird. I answered the phone. Like, usually if I'm recording, I won't answer calls because I just want to, like, be in the zone. But I was like, bro, that's weird. I need to answer this. Like, that's creepy. So, the girl needed her ice picker back because I needed it to scrape off the snow off my car yesterday because, you know, again, wasn't expecting to have to get one of those to have down here. But maybe now I do. Yeah, but run it back. As I was saying, making sure that you are putting your energy into the correct things and making sure that you're not wasting your time and mental space on things that you can't even control, whether that is in your current situation and you're trying to, like, be like me in the past, trying to change people's minds and, you know, do that, or if you're constantly worrying about the future or actions you did in the past. Because I think a lot of the time people focus a lot. We always talk about the future. We always talk about, oh, people worry about their future. But like a lot of the times people are really worried about their past, and like they're like, oh my God, why did I do that? Like, why did I like act like that? Like, I should have done this, I should have done that. When like in reality, you cannot go back and change the past. So I think a lot of the times how people cope with that is they try to control the future. And that both of those things are just very toxic, and you have to just be in the present. And it's so hard to do that, but you just have to. And another thing is also, I remember in my first relationship, there's a lot to discuss on this topic. However, we'll just talk about one section of it. I was very much always worried about like making sure that he liked me, making sure he still loved me, making sure he still cared about me, that I almost ruined the relationship because of that, because I was so scared of like, not ruin the relationship, like, you know, like it just, I don't know. I just was always so anxious and always so like, oh, like I need to make sure he loves me and make sure he likes this about me and this, and that. And like, I never really was just fully myself, which is like a whole other discussion. And like, there's a lot of different branches under that umbrella. But, what was this that I just did with my hand? That was weird. But yeah. And like, when that breakup happened, I think a lot of the times when people go through breakups, they try and like scramble for pieces. It's like literally like there's quicksand in your hands and you're just trying to like grab it and like get a hold of it. But like in reality, sometimes you just have to let it go and then just like gather it all back together. And just like, because sometimes like if you use the analogy of quicksand, the more you move, the more you're going to sink. So if you just like kind of stop and let yourself slowly melt down, like you have more control over how you're responding to that quicksand. And that is an analogy that I got from my lovely friend Cora. So Cora, if you're listening to this, you probably heard me say quicksand and you probably laughed, and you're probably laughing right now. But yeah, because that, there's a lot to say about that if you like think about it. If you have like quicksand in your hands, you're like in quicksand and you move a lot, it's just going to be even worse than if you just stay still and you're just calm. And I think in general, whenever you're going through any situation where you're kind of like trying to scramble for pieces, like think about that and think about how much calmer and easier it would be to not only get it together, like get that situation together, but also like it's better for you. Like if you're always stressing about a situation and always trying to control things, like you're not gonna be happy and you're gonna be all over the place all the time. So yeah, that is honestly the best way to put it. I am so tired right now. I need coffee. I didn't have coffee the past 2 days because everything's been closed. Like 2 days ago, I didn't even drink coffee at all day. That was criminal. Never doing that again. Yesterday I made coffee at home, but it just like didn't hit. I didn't make it right. So it just like didn't hit. So I need to go get coffee because I sound and feel like a dead person, to be so honest, because like I said, apartment's been super crazy all over the place. So haven't been able to sleep the greatest, but yeah, it's been insane. So I need to go get coffee immediately. And that's something that I can control. You know what? I can't control not getting good sleep because sometimes, well, actually I can control that very much so. Just go to bed earlier and like be better with my unwinding. But you know, when I'm at school, I can't ever sleep normally. So that's just how my life is. But what I can control is going to get coffee because it saves my life and I need it very, 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 very badly. However, thank you guys so much for listening. And thank you guys for all the love and continued support and everything. I really, really appreciate it. And if you're not already, make sure to follow me on Instagram at Growing Up is Weird Podcast and at Fiona Amos with 2 S's at the end. And also, side note, TikTok ban. That's a whole other discussion. That honestly might be an entire episode just talking about social media and the future of TikTok, because I have a lot of opinions on that. And maybe I'll have a guest for that. You know what? That's a brain light bulb right there. We're going to do that in 2 weeks. Next episode. So, which 2 weeks? Next week. No. I don't know. Brain. I don't know. See, all over the place. However, yeah. There's a lot going on in the world. And I never want to dismiss any of that. California wildfires. I wish I could help. I really do. But I'm all the way across America. I can't really do anything. Except for spread awareness about it. Because I have a lot of friends that are out in LA. And I am feeling for them right now. Because I know how scary it is and how hard it is right now for them. So, I'm here for you. I love you all. And also just all the stuff in the political world. It's like I always try to be so authentic and genuine on here, and that is something that I think I want to start implicating more in terms of like talking about real world shit, because I think a lot of the time I don't, and I really want to, especially in these next 4 years, if you know what I mean. Gulf of America. Just saying. However, yeah, so I always want to spread love, no hate, accepting everyone. And that's what this platform and what I want to do with my platform is all about. So, I hope you guys have a wonderful week. And if you are going through anything right now, I love you. And I love you either way. So, yeah. Thank you guys so much for listening. And make sure to like, comment, subscribe, follow along, do all the things you wanted to do. And I'd love to see you next time. All right. Bye, guys.